other day, I beamed down to my local post office, or whatever they call those things at the back of Shoppers Drug Mart, and I was greeted by a sight that prompted me to raise one Spockian eyebrow, for there was this vast display featuring stamps, posters, booklets, and postcards, all bearing a Star Trek theme. Now, 2016 marks the 50th anniversary of Star Trek, and Canada Post is now celebrating Trek's Canadian connection. Hey, Captain Kirk hails from Montreal, Scotty's from Vancouver, and that guy who played Klingon Captain Kor is from Toronto. Not sure why Mr. Spock or Dr. McCoy have their likenesses on a stamp. Maybe they once mailed a letter to Canada.
Fascinating.
But what has me scratching my head is why Canada Post is paying mega licensing fees to an American movie studio in order to produce Star Trek swag, given that the post office has a state-sanctioned monopoly on printing stamps. If you want to mail a letter in Canada, you have to buy your stamps from Canada Post, period. Those stamps could be blank and you gotta buy them. As well, if Canada Post is wooing stamp collectors to buy extra stamps for their collections, then why not simply print stamps that don't require licensing fees from rights holders? Now, don't get me wrong, folks. If there's a return on investment here, i.e., there are enough Trekkies in Canada buying copious quantities of Star Trek stuff, and Canada Post can turn a profit on the deal, then hey, hooray for Canada Post. Lord knows these guys could use a financial shot in the arm in this day and age of email vaporizing snail mail. However, unless one is proficient in performing the Vulcan mind meld, good luck trying to get Canada Post to provide details on their Star Trek gambit. I reached out to the post office to find out if this initiative will spin profits or bleed red ink. A spokesman offered the following, quote, "Unfortunately, we are unable to provide you this information due to the commercially and financially sensitive nature," end quote. Commercially and financially sensitive nature. Canada Post is a monopoly, all of which makes one wonder if this Star Trek promotion is just perhaps some cosmic vanity trip. In fact, the Star Trek initiative reminds me of the licensing nonsense at another Crown corporation. For years now, the Ontario Lottery and Gaming Corporation has forked over millions of taxpayer dollars in order to pay licensing fees to the likes of Endemol International, Fremantle Media, and other foreign companies so that the OLG can print scratch cards using intellectual property these rights holders own, everything from The Price is Right to Battleship. Now, surely squandering huge sums of money on foreign-based rights holders, rather than, investing that money in the province, is dubious at best. After all, the OLG enjoys a virtual monopoly on lottery ticket gambling, meaning it would likely sell just as many scratch tickets if its products weren't based on American TV shows and board games. Yet, like Canada Post, the OLG won't provide any financial details. An OLG spokesthingy told me to file a Freedom of Information request if I wanted the skinny. So much for the new and improved and transparent OLG we were all promised after the inglorious fallout from the Fifth Estate exposés and the scathing report by Ontario Ombudsman Andre Marin. But still the question remains, will there be a return on investment? And again, we're dealing with quasi-government entities here, and since when has the government ever given a rodent's rectum regarding ROI? That's private sector talk, after all. And so it is these arrogant state-sanctioned monopolies will continue to venture into space to boldly blow money, the likes of which no one has ever blown before.
Thanks for watching. Click here to never miss a Rebel update. Want even more of the Rebel? Well, click here to become a premium member.